The guard's footsteps echoed down the hall before I saw him. "Visiting hours end in 15, he said. I nodded. My son sat across from me, the glass between us fogged by his breath. His eyes, once restless, were calm now. The kind of calm that only comes after the world has already taken everything from you. He leaned closer to the phone. "Dad," he said quietly, "I need you to listen, and don't say a word." He slid a folded napkin through the gap under the glass. Just numbers, written in pencil. Locker 447, Union Station. The line clicked before I could ask anything else. That night, I sat in my car outside the station, staring at the crumpled napkin in my hand. I'd spent my life savings defending him, sold the house, emptied retirement, begged friends. He was convicted anyway. My wife had left 2 weeks later. Her note read, "You wasted our future on a criminal." But as I looked at those numbers, I felt something shift, something colder than anger. Because my son wasn't asking for forgiveness, he was giving me instructions. The locker door creaked open with a sound like metal remembering pain. Inside, a small black box. No markings, no lock, just weight. I carried it home without opening it. I sat at the table for hours, staring at it under the kitchen light. My wife's side of the table was still empty, her chair angled slightly away as if it still recoiled from me. When I finally lifted the lid, I didn't breathe. Inside were photographs, dozens of them. My son, and a woman, not his girlfriend, not someone I recognized. She was older, wealthier, married to the judge who'd sentenced him. Each photo was dated, each timestamp lined up with the nights the prosecution claimed my son had been committing his crime. The realization was slow, cruel, surgical. They'd buried him to protect her. And the judge's wife, his secret, was the reason my son's life had been traded for silence. I didn't sleep for 3 days. I studied every detail, every photo, every shadow, every reflection in the glass. In one of them, a car's license plate gleamed faintly behind them. I ran it through a contact at the DMV. It came back registered to my wife. For a long time, I couldn't move, couldn't think. I replayed every word she'd said during the trial. Her coldness, her distance, her insistence that maybe he's not the boy you think he is. She hadn't just left because of the conviction. She'd known before. I searched her old computer. The email trail was short but precise. Messages between her and the judge's wife. Arrangements, meetings, the kind of correspondence that hides beneath layers of guilt. The last one was dated 2 weeks before the trial began. Subject line, "It's done." I felt something inside me go still. It wasn't grief anymore. It was arithmetic. Every lie, every omission, every transaction that had turned my son into a scapegoat, it all began with her. I went to see her. She didn't expect me. Her new apartment was small, expensive, clinical. She opened the door in surprise, her expression slipping from shock to irritation. "What are you doing here?" I handed her the box. She hesitated, then opened it. Her face drained of color. "I found it, in the locker," I said. My voice didn't waver. "You remember it, don't you?" She looked at the photos, her hands shaking. "You don't understand." "I do," I said. "You helped them bury him." Tears gathered, but she didn't speak. "The judge's wife needed an alibi," I continued, "and you, my wife, made sure the prosecution had what they needed to keep her name out of it." She covered her mouth, but I could see the truth flicker in her eyes. That same look she wore during the trial, when she told me to let it go. I almost smiled. Almost. I laid the envelope on her counter, copies of the photos, emails, and timestamps. "I sent the originals to a journalist," I said. Her eyes widened. "You can't. It's already done." She reached for me, pleading, "He'll ruin us." "He ruined our son." For the first time, she had no words. just the hollow gasp of someone realizing their survival strategy had expired. I stepped toward the door, paused, and turned back. "You know what the hardest part was?" I said. "It wasn't losing him. It was realizing I lost you long before." Then I left her there, clutching the evidence, shaking, her future collapsing in real time. The story broke 2 days later. The judge resigned. His wife disappeared. My wife's name was leaked in the emails. By the end of the week, my son's case was reopened. When I visited him again, he didn't ask how I did it. He just smiled. A quiet, knowing smile, the kind that said he'd always trusted I'd find the truth. On the drive home, I passed Union Station again. Locker 447 was empty now, its purpose fulfilled. I didn't feel proud or vindicated, just balanced. Some debts aren't paid with forgiveness. They're paid with exposure. And in the silence that followed, I finally understood, justice isn't about punishment. It's about clarity.